I'm the kind of guy who tends to let things go.
Yes.
That's my personality. Do you often
I
take
don't.
a stand with people in a situation like that?
I do. I usually don't, but when I do, it's always the most ill-timed. I think, for me, the one I always remember of like why I should never stand up for myself is I used to live in Amsterdam. Like 10 years ago, I worked for a theater in Amsterdam, like right out of college. And you would like, in Amsterdam, you couldn't hail a cab 10 years ago. There were like these taxi lines where people would like spill out of clubs and bars, and you'd wait in a line of like 100 people.
Right.
And cabs would pull up, and it was a mess. Like everybody was drunk, and it was a nightmare, and then everybody would like cut in front of line. And there was one time where I was next in line, and then the cab pulled up, and a guy and his girl just like jumped in the cab. And something came over me again where I was like, this cannot stand. And this is so out of character for me. I reached in and I pulled the guy out of the taxi.
You put your hands on the guy.
And pulled him out of the taxi. And then he started yelling at me in Dutch, a language I don't speak. Now, here's the thing in Amsterdam I found, which is if two people were arguing, if one of them was American, everybody would side with the Dutch person.
That just makes sense.
Yeah.
That's only fair. It's their country.
You would side with the worst Dutch person over the best American person.
Right.
If it was like a 20-year-old projectile vomiting and Betty White, the Dutch guy would get the cab.
Yeah.
You just can't win an argument. So I was desperate not to reveal that I was an American, so I was speaking the only Dutch I knew, which was no, which in Dutch is nay. So the guy was like speaking to me in Dutch, and I just started going, nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. And then he would make his next point, and I would go, nay, 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 nay. And while I was doing this, I crawled into the taxi where his girlfriend was already in the back seat. So she was looking at me and she was talking to me, and then I used another Dutch word I know because the Dutch word for out is out. So that played right into my wheelhouse. So to her, I was going out, 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 out. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, out. And then finally, they gave up because they were like, obviously we're dealing with a simpleton who knows two words.
Right.
And she got out, and the guy got out, and I was so proud of myself, and I was so happy, and we were pulling the taxi down the street, and I should have just let it go. I rolled down the window, and I leaned out, and I yelled, I claim this taxi for America.
Yes!